Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. So in this video we have what I think is the best Zanie defense I was able to come up with. I'm gonna break it down and show you some replays, but basically Zanie is actually pretty interesting in PvP. Now of course there are ways to counter her, which we'll talk about. There are even people who have beaten this defense I have set, so of course we can show you those replays as well. But the whole idea is that Zanie's turrets are gonna deal quite heavy damage to the opponent. And if you're able to just delay, like even for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, that should be enough for them to shred through the entire enemy team. Now, of course, it is not enough just to have Zania's damage. You need other things, and Nero on the Liber faction talent tiles hits like an absolute truck, and he also counters Igor because he can destroy those Igor tombstones, and so it will really help you against those stall comps which do try to counter this. And then I also have Hugin to buff up Nero further with the charm, quality bonus, and mechanized bond. We have Siren to disable their artifact, giving us more of an edge, and then even getting some crowd control to, again, buy time, which we want. And then, of course, we have Dunlinger to prevent them from any immediate ultimate sort of strategy. That is really important to make this team more protected. I was running a version of Phraesto rather than Dunlinger first, and it was doing pretty well, but Dunlinger definitely is better. But I will show you, if you want to run Phraesto, basically what I was running is I was running a team like this, having Phraesto in front, real Phraesto in front of the Siren, Illusion in front of the Hugin, and this was really good as well. However, overall, Dunlinger is better if you have Dunlinger, but basically that's just to say that you do not need Dunlinger for this team. So overall, pretty interesting team, very strong team. Let's go ahead and take a look at some replays of this team. And Guardian Spell. Guardian Spell is actually really important. Let's talk about that. It is the best artifact for protecting your team, and that's what you need with a Zanie comp, because Zanie and her turrets, they're not the tankiest things in the world, and so they can get killed very quickly, and Guardian Spell gives us that amount of time to get off our combos. So let's go ahead and begin by showing you some replays of successes with the defense, even against some kind of pay-to-win teams like Athalia, Saida on Maulers. Overall, looking pretty scary, like a lot of stall factor, a lot of tankiness. But let's go ahead and take a look at what happened. So in this team lineup, we have our team on the other side. And Nero's going to go ham right from the beginning with all the buffs that he has on the Lightbearer faction talent tiles. Honestly, Nero is an MVP on Lightbearer faction talent tiles. You're going to see. He just shreds through basically everything. And I don't even know. We need to take a look at the damage chart. I don't know who is a major contributor here. It honestly could have been Nero. But yeah, Zanie is really interesting with these turrets, and if you can get those turrets upgraded like right there after one cast of her ultimate, it seriously begins shredding the opponent team. And also it has more health of its own, and it becomes really tanky. But the base turret that you have is just basically like the health of a Zanie, or a bit more than the health of a Zanie herself, which is not incredibly tanky, because, like, Zanie is a hero, which is I guess a marksman hero in the back. She doesn't have the great tankiness of her own. So, take a look. Actually, yeah, both Zanie and Nero contribute a lot of damage. Zanie actually out-damaged Nero, even though I thought Nero was putting in all the work, and Siren did basically nothing in that fight. If we take a look at another replay, okay, some other kind of wilder comp, Athalia, Pang, all Paragon 4 crowned, basically. Let's go ahead and take a look at it and see what happens. But definitely Nero is key. And if you try running this team for regular arena, you don't have Lightbearer faction talents. You don't have that major like damage output and that Nero is providing to the team. And you don't have Guardian Spell for the protection. And so all those factors kind of will hurt Zanie. Even though Zanie, I've tried her in regular arena, she seems fine. As of right now, it doesn't seem like she is the best hero to be running in regular arena, especially if you have other heroes built. Like, look at this. See, this was actually really well done by the opponent. He killed both of my turrets, and then Saida almost stalls me out here. But it's just... Oh, no, wait. One turret is still left. The gun turret is left on the floor, even though Zanie is dead. And they still keep firing even after Zanie dies. Yeah, so somehow even Zanie was the hardest hitting damage contributor here. I just feel like Nero is doing all the work, but it actually is Zanie, which is interesting. If you want to take a look at some other teams that people attacked me with, we have a Mauler Pang team with Bailran, and Gerda for the healing of the Bailran. Kind of interesting. Definitely interesting, and like, you know, because Pang is going to shield your heroes when they get above that 850 energy. But here the problem, yeah, these teams get shredded by Zanie, because the way to counter Zanie is you need to have kill threat like Athalia, and you need to have stall factor. It doesn't have to be Athalia, it could be Sylvina. So I'll show you a replay of actually Sylvina countering me. Yeah, so we've shown a lot. Basically, we've done a lot of basically boosting our own ego. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the defense fails, which have been primarily using Sylvina. Yeah, Sylvina jumping onto my backline, whether it be Nero, I think he comes onto Nero, and then you're just, yeah, they burst you too fast. So like the Sylvina Vala combo with Elderbow spell, yeah, Lightbearer team, this is actually crazy. Like, this just shreds you so quickly. Like, you think, oh, looking like we found a pretty good team, right? Sylvina's like, nope, just die. So that's the thing, right? Zanie can output high damage, but the protection is really essential. And the way they burst me so fast, they ran Siren of their own. So like Guardian spell, even though it's great protection, it doesn't protect you against Siren. So if they bring Siren, they still have the potential of nuking you, and then you don't get going with Zanie. So that's basically the thing. The way to counter the Zanie is you have to nuke her. You have to kill her quickly. That's basically the trick, and you're going to see it here. It doesn't really matter what he runs. He can run any 3 Lightbearer heroes. Just with Lightbearer faction talent, he has Siren to just block my artifact, and then Sylvina just goes in, along with like Siren dealing some damage. So overall, that is basically the thing. And he runs Elderbow spell. But you do see it here. If he tries to do anything else, it does seem like we do have a pretty good job. And then he goes back to Sylvina. And if you take a look at some of these other logs, like people have tried, like look at this, like Dunlinger, Athalia, Tassi, Pandora, like this is a team otherwise which would be pretty strong. I guess the major weakness of this team is that he's running Tassi into my Dunlinger, and that is not a good idea. Yeah, so if you can just survive long enough with this Zanie, basically Zanie in a nutshell is if you can survive long enough, protect her somehow, protect her turret somehow, you're going to get a pretty big edge over the course of the fight because your damage output is high. But the problem is, protecting her for that long is difficult. And so that's why Zanie, overall, I do not consider her to be really dominant for PvP. She is good. Definitely she is a good hero. Interesting hero. However, not anything that is honestly necessary. Like, okay, let's see what he's running here. So he's running Sylvina, but he wasn't running Siren. I think he's doing testing, basically, how can you kill this if you don't run Siren. Honestly, if you don't run Siren into the Zanie team that we have fielded, is really difficult to deal with this, because you have a lot of damage output. Guardian spell provides all the protection you need. That's exactly what you need for Zanie. So if another hero comes out in the future that has some amazing protection for Zanie or her turrets, I really think that she could become more meta in PvP, but for right now, we're just completely depending on the Guardian spell. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts about Zanie in the comment section down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Overall, I think she's a cool hero. I took her to Paragon 4. Maybe I'll regret this in the future, but I do think she's a really cool hero, and it's just mainly because you get these 2 turrets on the field. That is what was so interesting to me. I thought maybe you can use it for tanking, or you can just use it as ramp it up for damage. But as of right now, it seems pretty fairly balanced in my opinion. I don't think Zanie is overpowered by any means, but she can be a good option in certain PvP teams and just interesting in general. And who knows, with faction talents in the future, I don't know. We know that things are going to be different next season. We're not going to have prime carriers. I don't know if it's going to benefit the whole team. That is something that is really going to be good for the turrets, because the turrets, so this is an interesting thing, right? Now, because Zanie is on the faction talent tile, you might think, do her turrets also get the benefit of being a prime carrier? But they do not, because the turrets are already placeable heroes. They're basically considered, Zanie is considered 3 independent heroes, one turret, 2, and then Zanie. They're all independent placeable heroes, just like, for example, if you had Phraesto here. Obviously, your Phraesto, who's off the faction talent tile, obviously we don't have it here, but only one is going to get the benefit of the prime carrier tile. It is the same for Zanie. The turrets do not get the benefit of that. But her gun turret should get the benefit of it that she summons, but these 2 do not. But yeah, if it can be like a map-wise sort of buff effect in the future for faction talent system, that's just going to be better for your turrets, right? Because the prime carrier system is not as good for the turrets because you can't fit both turrets on the prime carrier tiles, and you don't really want to because then they cannot even reach the enemy battlefield. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're not already a member of my AFK Journey Discord server, please join that. There's a link to that in the description of this video. We talk about everything related to AFK Journey. Also, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. There is a link to that in the description of this video and a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. But thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.